Welcome to Fear Facts and welcome to the Cecil Hotel. It's no secret that seriously macabre fame surrounds the Cecil Hotel. The hotel lobby is faded and gilded, like an old train station that's seen better days. There have clearly been efforts to make the stay on Main, a boutique budget hotel that occupies part of the infamous Hotel Cecil, feel whimsical and vibrant. But these efforts have failed. The Mod Café seems permanently closed, and the entertainment lounge is little more than a dark cavern with a big screen TV that nobody is watching. Near the front desk, two young European tourists hunch over computers, surfing the internet, their rolling suitcases at their feet. Outside, transitional Main Street, half Skid Row, half the trendiest part of town, teems with the homeless and the hip. I look up, past the hotel's orange and white marquee, to the rows of curtained windows that so many lost, troubled people have gazed out of over the decades. If you ever want to experience loneliness in the midst of a metropolis, take a trip to the Hotel Cecil. In the 1920s, downtown LA was booming. Cutting-edge, skyscraping, apartments, hotels, banks and department stores were springing up everywhere. No area was more fashionable than the 600 block of Main Street where hotelier W.B. Hanner began building his own high-class hotel in 1924. He named it the Hotel Cecil, no doubt copying the famed Hotel Cecil in London. When it opened in December, the Los Angeles Times extolled its numerous virtues. The Cecil quickly became a solidly popular hotel, its clientele a mix of visiting middle-class tourists and Angelenos who called the conveniently located building home. In 1927, John Kronor, a suave and mild-mannered Slavonian, was arrested in his room for running from police at the Hayward Hotel and stealing a diamond hairpin at the Rosslyn Hotel. In April 1929, a 33-year-old woman from San Francisco named Dorothy Roberson was taken to the hospital after wandering around the hotel for 3 days. According to reports, she was distraught over the sudden death of her husband and had tried to poison herself with prescribed barbiturates. She failed in her attempt. With the stock market crash later that year, a depression settled over the Cecil that would never leave. The surrounding neighborhood slowly fell into disarray, and the Cecil increasingly became a hostel for the shady and the sick. There was the tale of Cecil resident George Ford, a successful morphine and opium dealer with a stash of $10,000 worth of opium, who was arrested in a sting at the nearby Astor Hotel. An elderly man was picked up at the Cecil, in peril of death, after drinking poisoned liquor that had killed 3 other men. And then the successful suicides began. W.K. Norton, 46 years of age, was found dead in a hotel room at 640 South Main Street. A number of capsules, believed to have contained poison, were given by police as evidence that Norton had ended his own life. The capsules, police said, were found in his vest pocket. Norton had been dead, apparently only a few hours when found by a maid. In September 1944, 19-year-old Dorothy Jean Purcell gave birth to a boy in the bathroom and threw the newborn from the building. Purcell, who was staying with an older companion, said she didn't know she was pregnant and when she gave birth, she thought her child was stillborn. A coroner later found that the baby was alive before his mother threw him. In 1962, 27-year-old Pauline Otten jumped from the 9th floor after writing a note to her husband, UPI reported at the time. She then accidentally struck 65-year-old George Giannini who was on the sidewalk in front of the hotel. Both instantly died on impact. The 1980s brought serial killer and Satanist Richard Ramirez, famously known as the Night Stalker, to the hotel. During his killing spree, he stayed on the 14th floor and paid $14 a night to roam there. Ramirez terrorized Los Angeles from around June 1984 to August 1985. Sexually assaulting and murdering people. He was said to dump his bloodied clothes in the hotel's dumpster and walk up to his room naked. It wasn't until his mugshot from a previous arrest was released that he was found and caught on August 31, 1985. One of the most famous murder mysteries of all time likely didn't happen in the Cecil, but it might have had ties to it. 22-year-old aspiring actress Elizabeth Short, who became known after her death as the Black Dahlia, went missing on January 9, 1947. Her mutilated, naked body was found 6 days later in a vacant lot in the Lemert Park area, about 5 miles from the Cecil. Throughout the investigation, rumors and reports suggested she either stayed as a guest at the Cecil in the days prior and/or was seen at the hotel's bar. Another famous death tied to the Cecil Hotel is that of 21-year-old British Columbia native Elisa Lam. The traveling student checked into the hotel on January 26, 2013, and was originally staying in a hostel-style room with roommates. However, there were complaints made about her behavior, so she was moved into a single room. Then on January 31, Lam was declared to be missing after her parents didn't hear from her on her checkout date. The police investigated her disappearance, looking through the items she left behind, searching the hotel, reviewing security footage, and interviewing employees. While the hotel didn't have cameras on every floor, including the 5th floor where Lam stayed, police eventually found one notable piece of footage of her in the hotel elevator. In it, she clicked nearly all the floor buttons and the doors wouldn't close. Her behavior and movements seemed odd, and she looked like she was hiding or conversing with an unseen person outside the elevator. Later, Elisa Lam's body was found inside a water tank on the rooftop of Hotel Cecil. The Cecil Hotel inspired the 5th season of Ryan Murphy's American Horror Story anthology TV series. In American Horror Story Hotel, the Hotel Cortez was built in the 1920s, had an Art Deco design, and many drug-addicted guests, much like the Cecil Hotel. But the most obvious parallels to the Cecil were the inclusion of the characters Black Dahlia and Richard Ramirez. The hotel named was changed to Stay on Main. In 2014, hotelier Richard Bourne bought the property for $30 million and it continued to stay open. However, in 2017 the building was shut in order to undergo a complete renovation with a gym, lounge, and rooftop pool being added in. The same year, it was named a historic cultural monument by the Los Angeles City Council. For more videos like this, please support this channel by giving a like and subscribe.